Everyone doing today? It's your boy JJ Domination, and today we have another one of these discussion videos where we take a team that has been slumping recently and we kind of talk about their struggles and what they could be doing better. Like, I don't know, it's not really a series, it's more of like a discussion video. Like, we've done this with the Atlanta Falcons, the Miami Dolphins, the Washington Redskins. I almost did it about the Philadelphia Eagles this game, but I decided not to. I was just like, screw it, we're really about to do it about the Chicago Bears and their quarterback situation. So Mitchell Trubisky was chucked back into the starting lineup against the New Orleans Saints last week. And granted, I give the Saints a ton of credit. They have been resilient. They've been a tough defense to play against. The defensive line is eating people alive up front. And the offense is starting to get their groove, especially with Teddy Bridgewater getting more snaps. And, I mean, things have just been going well if you are the New Orleans Saints right now. For Chicago, I mean, I'm pretty sure you were coming off a bye last week. I could be wrong. But you lost that game to Oakland, and then, you know, like, what the heck is this? Did they play anyone last week? I don't think so. I think they're 3-3 now. But, you know, looking at this team, I'm just a little confused. You know, why are they 3-3? Well, that's because the Chicago Bears are everything I thought they were going into the season. A great defense who isn't going to be great every single night of the year, who is gonna have to fall back on their quarterback at least once, twice, 3 times this season. And this was a great example of one of those games where you might have to fall back on your quarterback one week, and Mitchell Trubisky couldn't make the plays, and the Saints defense ate him alive and really got a lot of his stats in garbage time. So, you know, he had 34 completions out of like 54 attempts and 251 yards, I'm pretty sure, which if you do the math, that's 7.3 yards per completion, which is the definition of Dinkin' and Duncan at its finest. That is what Mitchell Trubisky was out there doing. He's a third-year quarterback. I think this is his second season as a full-time starter. I'm pretty sure at North Carolina he was a one-year starter as well. But I'm done with the excuses for Chicago. You know, I never really bought into Mitchell Trubisky. I didn't really see the hype around Mitchell Trubisky. I never really believed that he could be like this great quarterback like he was drafted to be, supposedly. And let's keep in mind, Chicago in the 2017 draft, not only did they not take Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes, keep in mind, they had the 3rd overall pick in that draft. They traded up one spot with the San Francisco 49ers and traded a bunch of draft capital to do so, just to take Mitchell Trubisky. Now, in that draft, I said Deshaun Watson's way better than Mitchell Trubisky. Why is Mitchell Trubisky the first quarterback taken off the board? Well, the Bears, I guess, liked him. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. And this has kind of been the Bears' problem, basically, for their entire existence. I mean, what? They have won Super Bowl since the Super Bowl era began, and that's in 1985 with their iconic 1985 Bears defense. I mean, they've been a good team for several stretches, but the one position they've never been able to get right is the quarterback position. I mean, listen, I wasn't around in 1985, so I can't tell you how good or how bad Jim McMahon was. Apparently, he was above average, which isn't saying much, you know? I mean, there's been a lot of above average quarterbacks in this league, so I don't know what to make of Jim McMahon. I've never seen the dude play, so sorry if I don't know. But, you know, I'm just looking at the Bears, man. Ever since I've got into football, they've just never had a good quarterback. They've never had a quarterback who you felt comfortable with. They've never had a quarterback where it's like, no matter what, I feel like we got a chance with that guy. I mean, the Bears just have never had that quarterback, at least in my lifetime. I mean, Jay Cutler was more of a meme than anything else. I mean, he was a decent quarterback. Like, he had the intangibles or whatever. He just wasn't a good motivator. He wasn't a good leader. And quite frankly, he's more known for his smoking Jay Cutler memes and his pick sixes than anything else, because that's about all he accomplished in Chicago. And then they pick towards the top of the draft, and they go and get Mitchell Trubisky in a draft class where, in my opinion, the quarterback to take for them should have been Deshaun Watson. I didn't think Patrick Mahomes was going to be an MVP candidate, so I'm just keeping it somewhat realistic, not using 2020 hindsight. I'm just saying they should have taken Deshaun Watson. And to be honest with you, I've told people this before, like, put Andy Dalton in the Bears offense and tell me they're not a good offense. Because this offense has all of the pieces to be good. Trey Burton is not a bad tight end. Is he a little overrated based on his projections and his rankings or whatever amongst tight ends? Sure, because he's known for one play. The guy who threw the touchdown on the Philly special. That's all he's known for. But he's a fine tight end out of that. I mean, he's not a terrible blocker. He's a decent receiving tight end. Like, he's not terrible by any stretch. He's a good tight end to have. When you look at the rest of the league, he's not bad. And then, you have Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller, who I think deserves more targets, Taylor Gabriel, who is extremely quick. Then you have Tariq Cohen, another shifty guy, David Montgomery, Mike Davis, Riley Ridley, Javon Wims. I mean, this team has some talent. This team has legitimate weapons. And you have a quarterback that doesn't know how to get the ball consistently to those weapons. And that's why I jokingly said put Andy Dalton in this offense and tell me they're not a good offense. Because even though Andy Dalton and his statistics don't always, convert wins or whatever, they don't always translate to winning football, at least the offense has been smooth with Andy Dalton. I mean, this season, he's been playing behind a terrible offensive line when healthy. When they're banged up, they're even worse. And they can't run the football because their offensive line is shit. And he's been having to throw it. And listen, he's been solid throwing the football this year. Imagine playing behind, the Bears offensive line that I would consider slightly above average. And then you're playing with all those weapons. I mean, he's playing without A.J. Green and John Ross. His best receivers are Tyler Boyd, who is pretty good, actually. Auden Tate, who was a good college receiver. He's kind of unproven in the NFL right now. And Alex Erickson, who could be a good slot receiver, but you kind of already have that in Tyler Boyd. But imagine Andy Dalton in this offense. Tell me this offense wouldn't be good. At least wouldn't be productive. And to be honest with you, and I know I'm gonna shit on Marcus Mariota again, but really, what's the difference between Marcus Mariota and Mitchell Trubisky? Like, they're basically the same player. They're extremely good athletes. They can make big plays occasionally, but they fail to do the simple stuff. I mean, Trubisky gets a lot of garbage time yardage. Mariota, I mean, you have Deion Lewis and you don't know how to use him effectively. Like, we saw Ryan Tannehill come in for Marcus Mariota and actually move the ball down the field. He had a 120.3 passer rating, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but his passer rating was up there in the 120s. I mean, Marcus Mariota, like, has he ever had a game where it was in the 120s against any caliber of opponent? I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm legitimately asking. But back to Mitchell Trubisky, who this is about. Seriously, what's the difference between him and a guy like Marcus Mariota? They're basically the same dude. I mean, Mariota's a better athlete, more highly touted as a college prospect, but they're basically the same NFL quarterback. Maybe not the best example to use, but it's just one that I thought of. But the Bears definitely need to change the quarterback position. I mean, you can say what you want to about Mitchell Trubisky. Sure, we had higher expectations than what he's given us as football fans, and a lot of Bears fans will tell you. I mean, Bears fans are starting to say, this isn't going to work. Like, even they're coming to the realization, and they're the ones that gassed up this dude to be good. And I was basically telling Bears fans all summer that you're not going to be impressed with Mitchell Trubisky. He is not going to be the guy that you expect him to be, the guy that you want him to be, the guy that you hope that he will be. He is not going to be any of that. And when it actually happened, I'm supposed to be surprised? No, I'm not surprised. This is exactly what I thought the Bears would be. A team with a great defense who will not be able to play great defense every single night. And another take that is held pretty strong, even though my Green Bay Packers scored 10 points against the Chicago Bears, the thing I said literally right after that game on social media is that you can throw on the Chicago Bears defense. You just got to have time to throw. And teams have been trying their best to neutralize Khalil Mack and neutralize this pass rush. And even when they're not able to effectively, teams have been throwing all over the Chicago Bears, whether it's dink and dunk or they're just getting 300 yards like Teddy Bridgewater did yesterday. And Teddy Bridgewater is supposed to be this game-managing quarterback. He marched into Soldier Field and shredded the Chicago Bears and what's left of their defense. And I get it. They have a key injury on defense. They have Akeem Hicks who is injured. He's a great player, you know, and he is a glue piece to that defense. And same thing with Kyle Long at guard. I think they have Ted Larson starting, or I can't remember who's starting, but it's very interesting over there in Chicago. I mean, they have a great defense. The defense finally has a bad game, and the offense just can't lift them. It can't be elevated. Yeah, they lost the game 36-25. 15 of those points were scored like on the last 2-3 drives for Chicago in garbage time. Like, I'm not really going to count that. They really lost 36-10. They got their ass kicked. And when the Saints decided we're just going to play prevent, we're not going to give up anything deep, that is when Trubisky started shredding up the defense. So in conclusion, this is all I'm going to say, Bears fans. You need to fix the quarterback position. If I were you, I'd bring in a veteran quarterback and capitalize on this window that you have with a defense playing as well as it does. They finally had one bad game, and people are already, you know, trying to throw in the towel on this defense. I don't think that's the way to go. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and peace out.